Hello everyone! Welcome to another Let's Play of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. My name is Anna Mardal. Before we start, I want to give a couple content notes for this case that we've been doing. Content note for suicide, for self-harm, for death by hanging, and for poor treatment, in my opinion, of mental illness. I also want to give a technical note. I have been listening to my old videos when they've been uploaded, and I do hear what y'all are hearing of the music kind of going wonky, wow, wow. I don't know if that's a stylistic choice in the game, or if that's something to do with the post-processing end. Either with YouTube itself or all of these cases or of these videos for this case number 4, all of them I had to do some post-processing to splice in the content notes because if you remember, we didn't know about the suicide until about halfway through the case, and so I had to go back and splice in content notes for everything because I didn't know going in that would be needed. Excuse me. I don't know if doing the splice of here's the content note, here's the actual video, boom, now they're one video together. I don't know if that introduced the sound thing or if it was a YouTube upload thing, or maybe it's in game. Like some of you thought it was a stylistic choice. I can't hear it in game, but when I'm playing the game, I'm talking, so I can't really hear anything because I have a lot of hearing issues. Period. But I am hearing it. It's not you. When I listen to the YouTube videos after they've been uploaded, I'm like, the music's weird. So I'm not sure what it is, and I'm trying to figure it out. One of the reasons why I just did a content note straight up for this one without splicing it in is to try to eliminate that step and see if we still have the issue. Okay. I have slept. Yay! And I came back with some thoughts, and I'm going to share them before we dive in today. It hit me sometime between last night and this morning that there's one other way that this episode is cheating by having Matt clearly say he's guilty as opposed to just continuing to lie to us and say, dude, I don't know, I don't understand. And that's this. Celeste Impacts did not leave a suicide note. Juan Carita forged it. Sorry. No one knows because the game started with Juan dead. And only Juan and Celeste. So the game started with both Juan and Celeste dead, and they were the only ones who knew. No one knows how and why exactly Juan broke up with Celeste. Adrian assumes that Matt on guard went to Juan and said something really crappy like, dude, I feel just awful that you're marrying my leftovers. But Adrian's had a long time to sort of fester over this whole thing. We don't know that. As far as I can remember, I don't think Matt even confirmed that. But even if he had, in a case where a client doesn't come clean about everything, we wouldn't know that to be the case. For all we know, Juan and Celeste got engaged, and maybe Celeste told him, by the way, this might come up later. It was, it's possible paparazzi found out about it, or maybe I just want to come clean and get it off my chest instead of keeping it from you for the rest of my life. I dated Matt on guard. Maybe a fan or, paparazzi or someone obsessed with Juan sent a, poison pen letter outing that Celeste and Matt had a thing. We don't know. We don't know what Celeste thought about it because Celeste didn't leave a record of what she thought about it. Her suicide note was a forgery. So, when Matt came up to the stand just a few minutes ago and the judge is like, I think you're a despicable man. You drove a woman to suicide. We really don't know that. And it kind of, it irks me a little bit that, believe me, I totally get that you can be with an abusive guy and it can hurt you, and it can, you know, that I'm not trying to whitewash Matt or make him out to be an awesome dude, because he's not. I mean, look at him. He's swishing around a brandy snifter. Who does that? Only evil people, that's who. I digress. The most explicit the game was ever willing to get, and I get that it's a kid's game, is that he dated her or had sex with her. Maybe didn't even date her openly. They secretly dated, which, you know, again, he's a celebrity, so that makes it kind of complicated. It's not like whenever, you know, you secretly date some guy who is ashamed to be with you. He's a celebrity. It makes it very complicated for your image, who you're dating. And plus she was his manager, so again, complicated. But they secretly dated, and they broke up, you know, like, I wish if they were going to make that the backstory, they made it a little bit clearer that he was genuinely abusive to her in a way that hurt her, as opposed to just they dated, then they stopped, and she seemed a lot happier when she dated somebody else. Those things in themselves don't make him a villain. They dated, then they stopped, she saw someone else, and then someone else dumped her for dating Matt. Also does not make Matt a villain. It makes the guy who dumped her a villain for not for caring about that, to be honest. In my opinion, that's a really shitty thing to care about. But again, that really doesn't feel to me like it's Matt's fault either. So the game kind of cheated a little bit, in my opinion, by having Matt kind of enthusiastically muhahaha his way to the ending. Like, yes, I am the villain. Because if we didn't have his word for it, I don't feel like that's been adequately established. But it is here, and so we soldier on. Okay. We're going to say he's not guilty, because I wanted to get the bad ending first. I did save the game, so we should be able to back up. He's not guilty. And this is going to be a horrible ending, I know. It's going to make us all cry. We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt Ongar, your client deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Matt Onguard is... Objection! Francisca! Okay, so was that also not that? I really thought that was the... Where is the branching narrative? Did my friend lie to me? I don't think they did. So what do we say if... Is it the same language again? So we've been given choices twice now. So is it the same? I want to see if it's the same. We're waiting for your answer. Deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the exact same. Matt Onguard is... Objection! Francisca! Francisca von Karma? Look at how lovely she is. Just full of spit and fire and rage, and apparently she whipped us? I wish she hadn't done that, but what you gonna do? What are you doing? Ow! You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces? Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. A Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. It hasn't been cataloged or gone through the appropriate channels at all, so all of this is basically illegal, but sure. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this. His coat! What a filthy old coat this is! It's gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial, all for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What? Objection! Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Ms. Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you were right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, they will not be accepted by this court. I'm so stressed. I'm afraid I'm going to do this wrong. Okay. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by DeKiller during his escape from the police. He must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. DeKiller left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around. Like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does DeKiller's pistol have anything to do with this case? Hold on, I'm just gonna Google this, because I really am afraid I'm gonna do it wrong. Case 4, what is this called? Farewell, My Turnabout, I think? Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Alright, I'm allowed to question. Alright. Does that pistol have any relation to this case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so I can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case. At least with me. That's the pistol he used to shoot you, isn't it? And that's what I believe, yes. Oh. I kept the bullet they removed from my shoulder as a sort of memento. It's evidence. You don't keep it as a memento. It goes into an evidence folder. What is wrong with you people? I'm sure it will be an excellent sample for the test. So that's the pistol that was used to shoot Francisca. It's probably not going to help us very much. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet DeKiller took that from On Guard Mansion. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. DeKiller went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from DeKiller. Shelley DeKiller is no ordinary man. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I am almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it. DeKiller was wearing this on the night of the murder. There is one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what is that? There is a button missing on this uniform. A button? It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. That is all I have to present, Your Honor. It's just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure, were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelley DeKiller's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct.
and these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now.
Wait, Your Honor! Please allow me to examine this new evidence!
Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict.
Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2? The first. Make Angard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict.
I don't think that's gonna happen, babe.
Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If Angard himself wishes to be convicted, he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force the killer to end his contract with Angard. If the killer were to no longer think of Angard as his client, he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible. He is a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? You mean to turn things around? The judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and judge, we have all seen pieces of evidence. And that is how we have come to know the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all, and that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end.
There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? I have already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence.
I am not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor.
Then you want to show the evidence to that person?
Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance.
One chance?
Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person.
That's impossible. To turn this situation around in one try.
One try? That is all I will permit.
I have to try to remember. Okay, so I think I need to save here. It says, I'm looking at a strategy guide. Save when Phoenix's line is an ellipses. At this point, this is where you choose your ending. Thank you, Strategy Wiki. Everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking Angard down at the same time.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time.
Oh, that was the ellipses.
Who would you like to show evidence to?
Okay, now I have to figure out what to do. Present something other than Shelley the Killer's profile, the videotape, and why Angard wanted to blackmail you. Oh. Yeah, no, okay, I got it. So, I don't want to present... This is who, so I'm going to say Matt. Like, we're trying to make Matt change his mind, okay.
I see. And now, tell this court what piece of evidence you would like to show this person.
Celeste cared about you, and she wouldn't like you to do this.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't have anything to say to this. How about you, Miss Von Karma?
Well, I was just shot, so...
I'm afraid I cannot allow the defense to continue. What? No one understands what you were talking about anymore.
Wait! Please, one more chance!
That is enough, Mr. Wright. I will now state my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Matt Ongard.
Where's my confetti? Oh, there it is.
That is all. The court is adjourned.
Alright, brace yourself for the sad ending. And just like that, the case... I ran away from the courtroom and wandered the streets alone. Just like that, the case ended. I never saw Maya again. The killer is a man of his word, so I'm sure he released her as promised. I heard the verdict of Miss Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty, of course. I don't like it when it's timed text. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist.
Well, at least it was a quick ending. I don't like bad endings that drag things out. And we got an achievement. So let's back up. Yeah, I don't like sad endings that drag everything out. We got it quickly. That's nice.
Okay. So trying to appeal to Matt Ongard did not do any good. So we need to appeal to... And I'm going to close the strategy wiki. There you go. We need to appeal to Shelly. Does it matter who? Probably needs to be that one.
I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person is.
Okay, so it's the bellboy's uniform, the pistol, and the videotape. Alright, the pistol doesn't do anything because he already knows it's his pistol and he tried to shoot Francisca. The bellboy... Why is one of the buttons missing? I guess that could be important, like if Matt stole one of the buttons. But it seems more likely that it just fell off in the struggle. And the police probably failed to find it in the hotel room. The videotape. We know that Matt set a spy camera to record the victim's room. And he said that he didn't tell Shelly the killer that he was doing that. He was afraid that the killer would try to blackmail him because he's a star and he's worth lots of money. So he was sort of setting this up as his own protection. So presumably this is the video of Shelly killing Juan, and I wonder if he knows why it was taken. I mean, he wanted to get it back, probably because it has him on it. But he's okay. Oh, he doesn't want people to see his face, though. So he watched it, realized he was being videotaped, and he needs to get back so the police can't identify him.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier.
All right, it looks like I managed to convince him. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. An order from your client? So does that mean you guys have been in contact? I've been assuming you hadn't been. Wait, have you seen it? I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard.
Do you know the contents of this tape?
I was sternly told by my client to not watch it, so I have absolutely no idea. Oh, honey. You're not a very good assassin, are you? I mean, you might be a really great assassin, but you're not a very good at, like, the kind of people who hire assassins. Actually, you were on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted a camera? The only person who could have placed a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews? Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Your client specified a place and time for you. Isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Matt Ongard film the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There is only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. So, Matt straight up told us he wanted to blackmail the killer. But also, even if he hadn't, that's really the best way out of, because the whole point is to break the bond of trust and have the killer feel like he's been backstabbed by Matt. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come on now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yeah, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay, and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelley the Killer? Oof. It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes. By a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes? You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the particular name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. Excellent, we'll set him up in the middle of a big net. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. Ah, I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes. My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Thank goodness. Nobody in court's gonna ask about that? At all? Okay, whatever. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion.
However, I am sort of... I don't quite know what just happened there with the client. Ah! Miss Von Karma, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict.
Mr. Engard, it looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy.
But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video. Help me. Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is this all right with you, Mr. Wright?
We have finally reached the end of a very long battle.
Wait, are they going to ask me, or is it going to be the same dialogue again?
Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief.
Wait. Surely... I gotta look it up again. Oh, good. It's still in my search history.
You are asked one more time if Engard is guilty or not. If you are playing the HD iOS release, choose Not Guilty to get Innocent Engard achievement, but it doesn't matter whether you choose guilty or not guilty. Is it the Steam one? I'm on the Steam one. I don't see an Innocent Engard, and I don't see any, oh god, I missed a couple. Damn it. I'll clear them in another play. Okay, I'm just gonna...
I did save, right? I'm just gonna plead guilty.
Matt Engard. Even though I am a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here.
Me? My wonderful self? Guilty?
Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot outside the detention center, your life would be in danger. No matter which way you look at it. You can't run from your crime anymore.
Wow, I'm really glad I content noted for self-harm at the beginning of the video. I didn't know that was going to happen. I don't like that. As always, it looks like we've uncovered the real truth.
Me?
I don't remember you helping much in this. Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt Engard? I have left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whip leather right about now. Very good. No, it's not good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness?
Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did.
This witness, how shall I put it? She has an illness. If you're going to say that you would choose death, that is of no concern to me.
But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. No, it's not. You've been in therapy. That actually happened. You went to therapy. You felt better afterwards. Oh, just get past it. Today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Oh, it's good to see her smile at least. That's nice. Wow, this is the first time I've seen her smile. I am really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay. It looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about, but everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Hunting. Show me Maya. You were great out there, Phoenix! What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all that to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on the matter.
I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt Ongard, is he guilty or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then, and your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you.
Right.
Edgeworth!
I have good news. Maya is now safe in police custody.
Really? Pearls, you're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, she's quite safe. She is on her way here as we speak in a patrol car.
Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya's safe! You did it! You really did it, Mr. Nick! Ow! She punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you! I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her! Mr. Nick will save her! Ah! Thanks. Oh! What's wrong? Miss Von Karma!
About earlier.
Thanks? Ow! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost! Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you are still happy? Oh, baby. This poor child. Oh my god. I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you?
Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago.
Edgeworth.
For my own personal victories, and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remained spotless.
I'm glad we're admitting to it now, even though the last game attempted to retcon it all away.
But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. Oh.
Okay, I can get through this without crying.
A man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. And I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. Then I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death.
As well you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die.
But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change.
What foolish nonsense!
We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant, but every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well.
What? You trust your enemy?
It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always eventually reach that one single truth. This I promise you.
The truth?
Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night.
Ah! Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me all those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why, 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself.
You pathetic fool!
Miss Von Karma!
I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. A Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect.
Miles Edgeworth.
You are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma.
And neither am I.
It's over. It's all over.
Franziska threw something on the ground just now.
This is an electromagnetic receiver.
Isn't that the thing she used to distract Detective Gumshoe?
I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else.
Ah! Is that Miss Von Karma's whip?
I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this right.
Okay. Nick! Maya, I've missed you so much. Maya! Mystic Maya! Hugs for everyone. You can have all the burgers and pizza you want. Oh, Nick, I knew you would come through. You got Ongar convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. We sure pressed our luck in this trial. You're really fortunate to be standing here. Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it.
Maya.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth!
I'm relieved you're alright.
Hey, it looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago.
Alright! I think it's time we got out of this depressing place! Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick! Food! Grub! Chow! I'm starved! I'm so hungry! Even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick! You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib, at least! Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please!
if you insist.
All right.
How about we hit up our usual burger joint?
Don't be silly, Nick.
Huh?
This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I decided we have to make it up by having another feast.
Another feast?
Come on, Nick, food!
I'm crying. I said I wouldn't cry. We're going back to the hotel?
Hey, pal. Sorry to keep you guys waiting.
Why do you look so much better without the dirty trench coat? You're never allowed to wear it again. I'm sorry.
Gumshoe, are you alright?
Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things.
Oh my god.
A telephone pole? It wasn't a red light that got in? Yeah, did it again, city boy. I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking.
Shouldn't you be filing a tabloid piece about Matt? I feel like of all times, this is the time to really earn that paycheck. Yeah, it was more exciting than the last episode of Steel Samurai.
Thanks.
Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard?
Yes, thank you. You were very insulting. If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it. Tonight, even.
I'll keep that in mind. He looks genuinely worried.
Oh, come on now. Everyone gather round. Y'all are gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer.
Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera.
Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on. Tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down.
Amen to that.
You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, Detective.
Me? You really think so?
He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, then I think this trial would have had a very different ending.
Yeah, well, you know, it's... Wait, that's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir.
What? 4?
Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket.
There was a 4th item? Oh, come on, y'all, it's over.
Did I do something wrong?
Oh boy, I tell you, you really are something else.
If I have to restart, I'm gonna be so pissy.
Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped? Never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? The being shut away for 2 whole days. Weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt hopeless. So to keep my mind off things, I drew a picture. This sounds like you had a rough gal, so where's this picture of yours? I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. Aw, that's too bad. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. It sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. What is it, Edward?
This thing is picking something up.
Ah, that's Miss Von Karman's receiver. Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me.
That's odd. Even though you're standing right here. The tracking device seems to be in a different location.
Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do, and I'm deeply uncomfortable in groups.
Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet. You've eaten way too much, you glutton.
No, I had fun tonight. Now if you'll excuse me.
Wait,
What?
I just want to say, thanks, Edward. You really saved me out there.
If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right?
I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. Give him? You could give him Francisca's whip. It's his... Apparently, she's like his adopted sister. I don't know what else to give him. Most of these things aren't even in our possession. They're just in the court record. But we actually are holding this because she dropped it.
And what's this?
Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her.
You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job.
It looks like Mr. Edgeworth is left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya? Yes, Pearly? I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly, would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me!
Anyway, who's paying for this lovely dinner party?
As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick. Huh?
Yeah, I'm kind of at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kind of already put your name on the bill.
Huh?
Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in the hotel, see, and I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It's better anyway. It better be anyhow for $3,000.
Huh?
I reckon y'all bought it for me since it's on your tab and all.
Huh? Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick.
Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? You don't need to hold back now, you hear?
Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out.
This is going to be the first time I hear the real you. Go on. It's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all.
All right, if you say so.
You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro.
Maybe we could stop. Like, stop doing that.
I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the 2 of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners. So I sort of made reservations for the 2 of you, just in case.
Oh God, Pearl, stop.
Well, pal, it looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I heard he said things like, letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it. Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal.
I mean, same, so I can't criticize.
Oh! I, Maggie Beard, am retiring this uniform as of today, sir. I'm going to be a waitress from now on and bring smiles and joy to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright.
Good for you, honey.
Yes. Are you here to visit a patient? I'm Dr. Hoti. Recently, yes, that girl, I haven't seen her around. Yes. But I remember, if I even laid so much as an eye on her, it would go crack. It didn't matter if I got whipped, though.
Why does he exist? Why? No, fuck off.
began our quest of world circus domination, sweetie. And to let the world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe. Hey Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think there are castles made of cake and bunnies who can talk?
I think if there are any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at most jokes.
I'm ready. I'm ready. There's no way these jokes are gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm going to be more contemporary with my humor. Mo Curls represent! We've got our new act all worked out. Prepare for the Hallelujah chorus. Say something, will you? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it. What's this? It's just an ordinary electric razor recharging on its stand. I can't believe this, really. How long do they plan on making me do this?
Aw, but it's Edgy Poo's idea, so that means it must have a deep hidden meaning.
But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? It was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They used to call me Queen Wendy and treat me like royalty. And any man who hasn't heard about this is going to feel the pain of my heel. Playing with fire is very dangerous. When they stored what?
I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. Yes! My ship sails! My ship sails! All my ships. Look at them sailing. It has become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. May we both be blessed with longevity.
And we didn't track it? We promised we wouldn't and we meant it? Okay. I guess there's more. Are we seeing Shelly to kill her off? Bye! So long! Sayonara!
Where are you going, Francisca? Oh, okay, we get character development for Francisca. How did you know I was here?
With this.
That's...
I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example.
That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab coat of his. And I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting.
When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout. That was true, I took 4 things in total, sir.
4 things.
And it seems he put the last one in his coat pocket.
He put it in here? It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over.
What are you going to do now?
Was I supposed to search the coat? That's none of your business.
Are you running away?
Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. No, and this is why you need therapy, sweetheart. He was a really bad man.
Francisca.
So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to.
You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have been and always will be.
No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away.
Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? And I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip.
You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge.
I see.
You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today.
I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did.
Adrian Andrews?
You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on our father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Huh. Today, you chased after me, after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you are going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Franziska von Karma.
I am Franziska von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now, so you had better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Phoenix Wright. One day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this fourth piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. What was it? Maya drew our face on one of Shelley de Winter's cards. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, that was a lot of emotions, wasn't it? And we got another achievement! I'm trying to look at the achievements on this Steam page and see what I've missed. So we got... It looks like most of these are for the next game. It says TNT. That's what is that? Trials and Tribulations, I think. But I missed two. One is... Please turn in your badge. Answer Maya Fey when asked who the defendant is. Oh no.
And then the only other non-Trials and Tribulations one is Lunchbox Specialist. Check out every lunchbox Angel Star has to offer. No! 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 Oh god, I have to do that terrible episode again! That's not fair. Well, we'll do that one like in like a special... We'll do that one in a special achievement hunting episode. Maybe like at the end. Oh god, and I don't even know. So like if I choose new game and the first one, I just need to see. Okay, so I don't have to unlock all the previous old ones. I can just go straight to Rise from the Ashes. Okay, that's... If I had to unlock the whole thing from start to finish, that would have been really awful. God, look at Miles there. So sad. Manfred, that was his name. Manfred von Karma. Asshole von Karma. And there was the guy with all the money who owned everyone in the whole world, and it's never been relevant again, which is kind of interesting. But yes, okay. So at some point we'll do a... And then I guess if we do a new game, the next one is... Trials and Tribulations, there it is. And that's all three. So we have the trilogy. Is there any more on the Steam store, or is these... Because you guys keep mentioning like a game with... like Edgeworth in it as the main character? Am I misunderstanding that? Steam only seems to have... Steam has Ace Attorney Trilogy. Although it's split into... What is Turnabout Times? That's like an additional add-on? This game requires the base game trilogy to load. What is it? This 24-track compilation features... Oh, it's the music tracks! Oh, well that's nice. I did ask if there was a way to get the MP3 somewhere, because I really do like the music. I'm not gonna lie, I like it a lot. I like it better when it's not breaking, so hopefully I didn't... it'll be interesting to see if it doesn't break this time, because I'm not gonna be splicing in content warnings. So, okay, so I guess Steam just has the official Ace Attorney trilogy. I don't know how to get an LP the other games once we finish Trials and Tribulations. I don't know if you can. Since they're like Game Boy games and stuff. Well, I guess I could get an emulator set up. Yeah, I could get an emulator set up. I don't know if that's technically legal. In theory, I could get an emulator set up. Okay, here we go. Games. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We played that one. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. We played that one. Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. We're about to play that one. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney is a visual novel adventure video game developed by Capcom as the fourth title in the Ace Attorney series. Apollo Justice? Is that a different person? Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. Ace Attorney's Investigations 2. No subtitle for that. Who is the main character for that one? Apparently that's Miles Edgeworth again. Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. That's an interesting crossover idea. Except I feel like they would be on the same side. They wouldn't versus each other. How could Professor Layton ever be against us and our innocent clients? For Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Originally released for the Nintendo 3DS with iOS and Android. Android! Okay, we have an Android emulator, and that is legal. We have an Android emulator on the computer. That's how I did the Choices app game. This one isn't translated. Dai Gyakuten Saimon Naruhodo Ryunosuke no Boken? Please apologize. I'm so sorry for my terrible, terrible pronunciation. No idea what that translates to because it's not telling me. Maybe on the actual page? No, you just, okay, that's fine. That's fair. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice, and then, a second one that's in, that doesn't have a, so, okay, so Apollo Justice, does it have a, we could go to the, Android store page, Android store. It sounds like the best thing to check is Ace Attorney because they don't all say Phoenix Wright. So I'm going to do Ace Attorney. And I spelled attorney right on the first try, which is really amazing. So Dual Destinies is on Google Play. Miles Edgeworth is on Google Play. Apollo Just, oh yeah, that's somebody else. He does have spiky hair though, is on Google Play. Spirit of Justice. Okay, so that's Dual Destiny, yes. Spirit of Justice, yes. Miles, yes. Ace Attorney, yes. The only one I'm not seeing is I don't see Ace Attorney Investigations 2. So that one maybe isn't there. But there's 4 more games on. Oh, crap, they're all $16 or $20 respectively. I don't see the Leighton versus. Yeah, I also don't see the Leighton versus. Phoenix as well. So I'm gonna throw this out here because I do accept game sponsors. Like, this game was bought for me by a friend who wanted to see this Let's Played. So if anyone wants to hit up my PayPal, it's just the paypal.me/Anna Mardal. And you can even leave a little note whenever you donate. If anyone wants to donate money specifically for one of these games, Dual Destinies, Miles Edgeworth, Apollo Justice, and Spirit of Justice. If anyone wants to throw money at me for more Phoenix Wright Let's Plays, then I would not turn that down. Otherwise, it might be a little bit of time while I budget some things up. But I will get to them eventually. And of course, we still have Trials and Tribulations to go. So I just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, that was super satisfying. I loved it. I do agree that I think Francisca was underused in that game, in that case. But I do like that she did finally get that character development at the end of grappling with all the stuff that's been building up. So I had been wondering, I had been wondering why she kept fighting us when, she had lost her perfect record, and that was her whole thing, was her perfect record. She cared so much about it. And I thought, why does she keep, stop that. Why does she keep fighting if the whole thing is her perfect record and it's over? She, even after we beat her and her perfect record was over, she still wanted to beat us to prove that she was better than Miles. Oh god. So yeah, they have this whole complicated, painful sibling rivalry thing where, she was the daughter of the guy who adopted him and who made him his successor. And she has to have felt she feels like she's been overshadowed her whole life by this guy that her dad picked as his successor. Instead of her. And she thought if she could prove that she could beat the guy who beat Miles Edgeworth, then that would prove she's better than Miles Edgeworth. I mean, she can never beat Miles directly because they're both prosecutors, so they'll never face off against each other in court because neither of them are defense attorneys. But if she could beat the guy who beat Miles, then that means she's better than Miles. And so that was why she persevered even after And even to the point of being willing to suborn perjury and prosecute an innocent man. I like I said, I wish that had been dealt with more or better, because I feel like that got brushed under the rug a little bit, since technically he was guilty after all, so no harm, no foul. But she was willing, she was so obsessed, she was willing to frame an innocent man, a man that she thought was innocent, that she had every reason to believe was evidence. All the evidence against him had been fabricated, and all the evidence that would later be used to for real convict him had not yet come to light. So she had every reason to believe that he was innocent, and that that she was putting an innocent man in prison just so she could finally beat the guy who beat Miles and settle that childhood long-standing grudge against the guy that her father seemed to prefer over her. That's a lot, and I mean, I get it, I do. I really want her to get some therapy. I want them all to get therapy. I mean, Manfred von Karma should not have been raising kids. The man was a monster. He would have probably messed anybody up. So it's not like, I'm not saying she's, you know, weak or should be ashamed or anything for being kind of messed up in the wake of having this terrible, shitty dad, because, I mean, I would be too. No shaming there. Really, really bad person. But I really want her to get some therapy. And seeing her tear up at the end was very hard, because I just, poor thing, poor girl. But now I understand why she was. It was really unclear why she kept harping on her perfect record and her perfect record this and her perfect record that, because after the first time we faced her, her record wasn't perfect anymore. So it was like, are you just mentally asterisking those times as not counting, or like, what's going on there? But it wasn't that she really did mistakenly think her record was perfect. It's not perfect. It's that she had become so hyper-focused on beating us in order to vicariously beat Miles, that the fact that we broke her record wasn't even really registering as important. It's like, fine, you broke my record, you broke Miles' record, that's not the point, that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to maintain my perfect record, I'm here to beat you so that I can beat my brother. Which I get. I mean, not healthy, but I get. So that was good that we actually got some character development, kind of resolution with her. If it had left without her, you know, if it had left her dangling, I would have been kind of upset about that. But how do I want to say it? I feel like that was well done. I really liked, and I'm going to talk about it without crying, but I really liked, the conversation between Miles and Phoenix about Miles leaving and why, because I really was frustrated that it seemed like we were gonna just kind of dodge that continuously, that you know, dude, you left a suicide note. Are we gonna talk about that, or no? Like that's a problem for me, you know, like not a problem as in it's bad, like I'm not saying he's bad, it's that we need to talk about it, because Phoenix was hurting and thought you were dead, and now you're not, and that's great, but also, what the heck is even going on? I'm having emotions, you know. So I was afraid we were just gonna kind of zip by that over and over, but no, we did talk about it, and it was beautiful and wonderful, and I have lots and lots of emotions about it. So so that was good too, and just for Phoenix to talk about how he felt betrayed that Miles left, because the whole reason he went into this profession is because is because of the things that Edgeworth made him believe when he was younger. And then here he finally caught up with Edgeworth, and he thought, Edgeworth didn't believe those things anymore, but he thought he could get through to him. And he not only did he not be able to get through to him, but when he tried, Edgeworth appeared to leave a suicide note. Like that would crush Phoenix. He had to have thought that it was his fault that Edgeworth did this, and it was his fault for defeating Edgeworth, but also that that anger of feeling like, of all the things to kill yourself, you did it because you didn't have a perfect win record anymore. Like, I understand being so frustrated at someone over that. Like, come on, like, that wasn't what was important about your life, but here you're making that the most important thing. I understand being so frustrated and sad and just wanting to shake him, and then suddenly here he is, and he's just like, what's up, I'm fine, just being like, so I get that. Sorry, baby, I'm sorry. So yeah, I get that. And having Miles talk about how he came to trust Phoenix and care about him, just, my heart, just, okay. And we saved Maya, that's wonderful too. We saved Maya, we got a love confession from Miles, we got Gumshoe back on the force, although I really wanted to keep him as a private detective, but it's fine. And Franziska is gonna take like a sabbatical and maybe get some therapy, and that would be wonderful too. Oh, and then her and Adrian are gonna work together, so that's lovely as well. All my ships sail. All my ships sail. Okay, I'm gonna obviously cut the video here. I'm gonna upload it. I hope, pray to God, the sound's not messing up again, because if it is, then I'm gonna have to figure out what it is, because I don't know. But hopefully not. Hopefully it's fine. And then we'll pick up in Trials and Tribulations in the next one. Thank you so much for coming along. I love you all. Thank you. I will see you in the next Let's Play. Bye-bye.